All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever looked at a big institution, a hospital, a university, maybe even a government agency, and just wondered, why is this so hard? They've got smart people, they've got the funding, but they still seem to struggle. It's a head-scratcher, right? Well, today we are breaking down a really fascinating paper that gives a pretty radical answer to why good institutions fail and, more importantly, how we can actually fix them.
The paper kicks off with this perfect, almost painfully real example. Picture a hospital. It has a super clear plan. The MRI machine has to be replaced every 4 years. Simple. They even have the money set aside for it. And yet, somehow, the deadline gets missed. The old machine breaks down, patients get their appointments canceled, and care suffers. And the crazy part is, this isn't some one-off mistake. It's a predictable, repeating failure.
So yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? If the money's there and the plan is solid, why does this keep happening? It's clearly not a failure of competence, and it's not a failure of resources. So what is this hidden force that's causing things to fall apart? Well, it turns out the answer has very little to do with money, and everything to do with something else. To solve this mystery, the paper tells us to stop looking at the bank account and start looking at the calendar. The whole argument is that the real issue here isn't about dollars and cents. It's a fundamental problem of time.
Here it is, the big idea. The problem isn't a lack of capital, it's that the capital was completely out of sync. Basically, the timing is all wrong. The money shows up governed by the wrong rhythms, which makes failure almost inevitable, no matter how good everyone's intentions are.
To really get this, imagine a band, but with two drummers who are totally ignoring each other. The first drummer is playing the mission cycle. This is the steady, predictable, long-term beat of the organization itself. Think of it as the 4-year lifespan of that MRI machine. But the second drummer is playing the fragility cycle, a chaotic, volatile, short-term beat from the outside world. Stock market crashes, election cycles, annual budget fights. The institution is the band, stuck in the middle, trying to play a song while surrounded by total rhythmic chaos.
And that chaotic drummer? It actually represents 4 different rhythms the paper calls fragility cycles. Our institutions are forced to dance to the beat of all of them. Financial cycles from market volatility, political cycles from elections, capability cycles from the simple wear and tear of equipment, and civic cycles from things like donor interest. And the real problem is, our entire financial system is designed to hook our capital to these damaging rhythms, not the mission. Okay, so if the problem is that our institutions are dancing to the wrong beat, how in the world do we fix it? Well, the paper proposes this really elegant and powerful 2-step solution to get them back in rhythm.
It's a simple but profound idea. First, you have to decouple the capital from all that chaos. You basically make the money deaf to the outside noise. Then, second, once it's insulated, you align it. You sync it up so it follows the true, steady beat of the institution's actual mission.
Let's get a little more specific here. This first step is called the decoupling operator, or delta. The best way to think about it is like putting a pair of noise-canceling headphones on your capital. When delta is applied, the money no longer cares if the stock market swings, or a new administration takes over, or public opinion shifts. It becomes totally independent from all that volatility.
So now that you've blocked out all the noise, you can tune the capital to the right station. This is the alignment operator, or lambda. This is what syncs that now stable capital directly with what the mission actually needs. The money arrives in the right amount, at the right time, every single time, just like that hospital needed for its MRI machine. Now here's the crucial part. You can't have one without the other. It's a package deal. Decoupling without alignment just gives you stable but useless capital. And trying to align without decoupling is impossible, because the money is still getting yanked around by all that chaos. You need both delta and lambda. Together, they are the 1-2 punch that creates a healthy, self-sustaining system.
This all sounds incredibly logical, almost obvious, right? So why aren't we already doing it? Well, to answer that, we have to take a really hard look at the financial tools we're all used to using.
And here's the brutal truth. All of our traditional forms of capital, we're talking debt, grants, annual budgets, even things like insurance, they are all structurally incapable of doing this. By their very nature, they can't do it. Debt is hardwired to financial cycles. Grants are tied to political whims. Annual budgets, well, they reset to 0 every year. It's not just that they're bad at alignment, it's that they are literally designed to follow the wrong cycles. They fail both the decoupling and the alignment test from the get-go.
So if all our standard financial tools are fundamentally broken for this purpose, does the solution even exist? I mean, is there any type of capital out there that can actually pull this off?
According to this research, the answer is a huge yes. It's a new class of financial architecture called perpetual social capital, or PSC for short, and it's the first operational technology built from the ground up specifically for alignment. So what's the secret sauce here? How does it work? Well, PSC succeeds because its core design has these 6 key features. For example, one is that it's a non-liability. That right there automatically decouples it from financial fragility. Boom, that's our delta operator. Another is multi-cycle regeneration, which allows it to be perfectly timed to the mission's real-world schedule. And there's our lambda operator, you see? Its very DNA is built to make alignment possible.
So we have the problem, this temporal misalignment, and we have a solution, alignment capital, which can be built using PSC. So let's talk about the payoff. What actually happens when we switch to this new model and start building these regenerative systems?
The difference is pretty stark. The old way, using traditional capital, is all about being reactive. It's fragile. It only thinks in single-year cycles, and it's totally dependent on those chaotic outside forces. The new way, with alignment capital, is regenerative. It's stable. It can operate across many cycles, and it's driven by the mission itself. It's a huge shift from being on constant defense to making confident, long-term progress.
And the performance difference isn't just a little better, it's staggering. I mean, look at this. Across every single one of these areas, government, science, climate, health, systems built on alignment capital just dramatically outperform the old way. We're not talking about a small 10% improvement here. We're talking about a complete game changer in terms of capability and resilience.
So when you boil it all down, what does this new model actually give us? Well, it delivers predictable funding for projects that take a long time. It shields our vital institutions from political games and market swings. It means we spend less money reacting to crises and more on proactive planning. And ultimately, it just builds stronger, more independent institutions by shifting their entire mindset from one of scarcity to one of continuity.
Which brings us right back to the powerful core insight of this entire analysis. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Institutions do not fail because they lack capital. They fail because capital follows the wrong cycles. This just reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? It suggests that maybe some of our biggest, most intractable challenges aren't really problems of scarcity after all, but problems of timing. And if that's true, then fixing them is finally within our reach.